What is up, bros? Me, Josh, here. In today's video, we're going to go over the brand new patch and mainly the campaign that just came with it in the 0.6.9 World of Warships patch. And with the campaign, the brand new Yamamoto campaign, and this is one of the things that's been pretty hyped for a while. A really famous Japanese captain from World War II. So there's a lot of history behind this one, which is pretty sweet for history buffs. And really, this is going to be the most challenging and hardcore campaign we have seen so far. If you guys haven't even started doing campaigns, be sure to grab these. Science Victory is a lot easier to do, kind of the starter one. Honorable Service, which I've basically already completed. I think both these except for one thing on this. If you haven't, be sure to grab something from these as you're playing all the time. The worst thing that you're going to do is you're just going to be playing and you're going to get free rewards from all this. So flags, Captain's XP, all kinds of good little things. So if you haven't even clicked on the campaigns, be sure to be tracking these. If you don't have premium time, you can track 2 at a time. If you have a premium account, you can track up to 3 at a time. So always have 3 going. And just can kind of earn free stuff as you go, and then even earn stuff at the end. So the Yamamoto campaign is definitely going to be the hardest campaign. It's going to take the longest to do, and there is probably the most intense things needed to be completed throughout this entire campaign. Now, normally when these things are released, it's basically open as you go. These are all on timers now. So as you click on the first one, this one won't be open for 14 days. It's basically 2 weeks in between each one. So I believe this is going to be a permanent one. So I don't think it's going anywhere, but you won't be able to move on to the next step for 2 weeks. So if you're somebody like me that plays a lot, it's kind of a bummer because you'll probably get done with these and then be waiting for something to do. But regardless, it's pretty cool to just have something to kind of go for. I love these campaigns. I think these are awesome. Not only is there a ton of history, especially behind this one, but there is just extra things to do. I mean, this one's gonna be pretty intense. You're gonna need to hit the enemy with citadels 40 times. I mean, 200,000 damage, earning a ton of credits. So if you have the Missouri, that might be that bad. This one's definitely going to be one of the harder things to do. The best part about this one, though, is the rewards are freaking insanely good. You're looking at 1,000,000 credits for doing this. Tons of party controls, tons of flags, good flags too. And then at the end, for everyone, there's 5 steps to this. So for the first 4, you can actually get 2 super containers for completing this. So if you guys have never done a campaign, basically what you do is it need 8 stars or whatever. I think as you go, it's going to go up higher. Yeah. So getting 8 stars, so completing a task will give you X amount of stars as it shows. Once you have done that, you can then complete the final task, which is, I believe, throughout the entire thing is earn 30k XP, which isn't too bad, especially if premium time or a premium ship. This will go actually pretty quick, especially with all the flags and stuff like that. And you can get super containers. So you'll get 8 super containers regardless, which if you are the luckiest person in the world and you should go buy a lottery ticket, you could potentially get 8 premium ships. That's just how it could go. The chances of that are very low, but you could actually get 8 premium ships for doing this campaign that Wargaming gave you. So that is pretty freaking awesome. But as you can go, what I like to do is I like to kind of find things that are easy to do and just burn through this as fast as possible. Now, because these can be repeated, so what will happen is it'll basically get grayed out. You won't get the rewards again, but you'll get the stars again. So that's what you try to kind of do. Try to find 3 that are easily repeatable. Let's look through this. That's just gonna take at least 5 games, so that's kind of brutal. That's gonna be pretty brutal too because that's a cruiser. So it's kind of like this might not be too bad. Also one thing that is going to be a kind of a brutal part about this campaign is this is purely tier 8 and higher, and if you only have a tier 8 ship, there are only so many things you can do, which will kind of hinder your progress through this. This is really tier 8 and up, as in if you have a tier 9 and 10 ship, you can get through this a lot faster. So like this will be pretty easy. 200k damage and fires. It's like a Zao game. You know, these are both be pretty easy if you're running high tier cruisers. One thing I did notice as you go through this, and so basically once you get the 8 stars and then you do the final task, you then can move on to the next one. You don't need to do 100% this. I like to do it just because it's cool to 100% everything. You don't get extra rewards or like 100% reward or anything like that. So basically pick and choose what you want to do. If you're a cruiser player, pick cruiser stuff. If you're a battleship player, pick battleship stuff. And then get on through the final task, get that, then move on to the second one and just keep going because actually this is the first one that's really kind of focused a whole kind of thing kind of on CVs. So one of the downsides is if you don't have a high tier CV, you're basically going to be kind of stuck doing these kind of tedious things like spotting 500 torps in a ship in a CV, that's not bad. You can spot a ton of torps, especially in high tier games right now, because there are so many destroyers. But as like a destroyer spotting 500 torps, that's going to take a long time. Me, I'm not a high tier CV player. I don't enjoy the class that much. So this is going to be kind of a brutal task for me. Luckily, you have 14 days to get through it. So maybe I'll play a couple games. But I mean, like, if you don't have a CV or don't want to play through CV, you're looking at pretty much these last four. So spotting 500 torps, which is crazy. Maybe a German DD will help with that. Shooting down 300 aircraft. Now I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of CVs now, so this might not actually be too bad. But I mean, still at 50 lanes a game, you're still looking at least 6 games, and that's a lot from a cruiser. So that's going to take a while. These ones, 30k XP, you can do that pretty quick, honestly, if you have a ship, like I said, a premium ship, premium account, and of course the flags. And especially if it's like a 2-time win or something like that, you can get 10k in one game. So that's not too bad. And then earn a total of 200,000 credits. So if you have a Missouri, these seem to be kind of repeatable. So these will be definitely ones I'll be doing on the stage, but it's cool to kind of see a bunch of aircraft love, CV love. Downside is there's gonna be lots of CVs in high tiers. That's also can be good and bad because, in my opinion, the CV imbalance play style. So, but as you go through, just consistently going. I like how they keep like a cruiser one, a CV one. Basically, just keep going. Every time you're gonna get super retainers. You're gonna get the good stuff through all this, the good flags and all that kind of stuff. I like that they add where is it? I think det flags. I love det flags. If you've played rank, you know you burn through det flags. They've made det flags a lot harder to get within the rank season, so I like that they're adding them here, so you can maybe pick up about 50 more throughout the entire thing. Keep going throughout this entire. A lot of this can be repeated, which is kind of nice. The only downside is you do have to wait, so this won't even be available. This task won't be available for a month. And then as you go through, same thing. Get all the stars, do all the tasks that you want to do, and then once you get to the last one, you get Yamamoto, which is the whole thing is based around his history, which is pretty badass. And he is the first actual unique captain. I guess you can put Steven Seagal as kind of a unique captain, but not the same as this guy. Basically, he's going to have actually special things that he can do. I guess Steven Seagal's kind of a unique captain. But this is actually going to be the first full-blown unique captain that you can actually put on your ships. And he has some pretty cool things that he's going to be able to do. If you get first blood, you're actually going to shoot off fireworks, and which is kind of awesome. Downside is I don't know if it's going to be for everybody seeing it or if it's just your friendly team, because that could be potentially awful. And like I said, I don't know if this is going to be that. I'll put a link in the video down below that they kind of talk about what they're going to be doing with this. And but if you're like a destroyer and way off on a flank and you get a good torp on a random DD and smoke or something like that, then all of a sudden there's a million fireworks going off and they see where you are. That's probably not the best idea. That might kind of screw you over a little bit. I think it's just friendly side though, so let me know in the comments below. I think it's just friendly side. I really hope it isn't for both sides to see, because that could kind of mess over the stealthy D or something like that, showing off their spot. You can also get commander's flags, so I think you can actually put extra flags up throughout on your ship, so that's kind of cool. They'll just be cosmetic though. You can't get, like, I don't think you can stack. I think there's only the military one that gives you anything extra, but you will be able to stack some flags, which will be kind of cool. And also you get the tracer, the shell tracers. So this is the first captain kind of have rewards for playing well with this captain. And I'll put a link down below for all this with the video and everything like that too, so you can read up more on it. So just down below. But the consumer reserve, so if you do get first blood, you get an additional 1 stack of all your consumables, which is pretty badass, especially if you're playing a Cabra, so you can get another heal. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, another stack to all your consumables, so an extra heal for a battleship potentially, extra AA, extra radar. So this can be very, very powerful for getting that first blood if you are using this captain. And then also if you get second wind, if you get Kraken. So this is pretty insane. If you get a Kraken, which are pretty rare, but they do happen, you get this monster buff, which is 34% to main battery reload time. So if you're in a battleship, it's getting cut down to 2/3. So that's pretty insane. So you're going from a 30-second reload to a 20-second reload. Imagine that on a Yamato with 20-second reload on top of Adrenaline Rush. So you could potentially be at an 18-second reload or something like that in a Yamato. Montana, whatever, or just even a destroyer, just cutting it down to a third. So that's pretty insane. Um, that's really, really good. 16% torp reload. So if you're running a Shima or a Keg or anything like that, or one of the German DDs, even faster. And then squad time for CVs is 48%. And of course, you get the normal HP restored. The ship's normal HP restored within 120 seconds. So you get this insane kind of heal. You get reload time. You get torp reload time. Pretty freaking crazy. So if you are getting Krakens, you are going to get a huge buff for the rest of the game. Now, Krakens tend to happen a little later in the game, but still, one downside I could see on this is CVs using and kind of abusing this, especially high tier CVs. An IGN CV, you know, if there are 4 ships that are low, they could send 1 to each ship and kind of knock it out. So potentially I could see a problem with this kind of getting used and abused by CVs in high tiers. That's one thing I'm kind of worried about, because then you just created a beast that's even stronger. But it is what it is. So if you see a low ship and you want to get that kill, be sure to get it, because people are going to be sniping for them, as they always are. But now there's an incentive to even go more. And once you are actually finished with the final task of stage 5, there is then a collection that you can then do for Yamamoto. So yeah, that's pretty cool. A lot of history behind that, and you can pick stuff up through normal containers, and which will actually add a lot of cool stuff. So me personally, this one's pretty intense. It's going to be a lot of high tier play, a lot of tier 8s, a lot of tier 9s, a lot of tier 10s, a lot of shooting down planes. So lots of high tier CVs. Kind of excited, kind of not, which means, hey, I got to bring out my Minotaur and get maybe some clear skies. So be sure, guys, to be always tracking these. I love the campaigns. It gives me something to do. It gives you different things to do as well, because you actually play differently throughout the entire thing. Which I think is a lot of fun. So start getting through this, guys. If you have the high enough tiers, if not, work on the other ones. If you've already done those, get to the tier 8 and you can at least start working on this and slowly go through. You got plenty of time to get through it. Hope this video helps. Hope this video enlightens you guys. Remember, a bunch of info down below if you want more info on the campaign, the history of Yamamoto, and going over all the rest of the stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys. Remember, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys out there.